All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is November 16th now, 2021 on a Tuesday, and there's a lot going on right now. So let's see what's going down. Welcome to the Morning Brew, where we are look for the movers of the day, just looking for the movers. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you know, we're just looking for momentum trades, and we're just basically looking for to see where the moves are today, up, down, sideways. So where we start off, we're going to start off with the overall analysis to find out where the movers are at, right? Right. We want to trade the movers. Movers makes money. Okay. So we use a very basic system. We use a 15-minute trading day trading system. If you want to know more about that, and I dissected the moving averages, and it's in the launch section. I will make sure to post a link on there, but let's dive in because there's a lot to cover today. Okay, so let's get set. Let's get ready. All right, got the LICD. Let's go to share screen. We're going to go to desktop 2. And I got the alert for LICD crossing. They had earnings yesterday. So we're going to be looking at that and see if that's an opportunity there. But overall, let's start where the markets are at. All right, so the overall market, the SPX, NDX, and the Russell. So if we're looking here, again, we had a bounce. That was beautiful bounce. MACDs are coming to the end, so we got to be a little bit caution right here on both the NDX as well and the Russell. Okay, Russell did not get a bounce here, so it's kind of stagnant here. Couldn't break that level of 24.21. So something is pending, and I'm not sure what it is. There is news out there. A couple of things that we have to be wary of these highs up here. Can we go higher? Yeah. How are we overextended? Yes. Is the season upon us? Yes. So we have retail numbers coming out at the end of the week, right? As far as earnings, we also have retail numbers, and we also have another pending news. We have chips, a lot of chip news coming out this week, as I spoke about it yesterday. So chips have not moved, and then all of a sudden they're moving. Can they continue to keep moving, right? Remember, there was a chip shortage, and we have a lot of news coming out today. We have the Qualcomm conference event that's happening today, and what are they going to say at that conference? So we got to, I have a separate chip charting system with a bunch of chip list, because I want to see if they're going to start moving. Is the chip shortage over? That's the words that we're looking for, right? We have Qualcomm, Nvidia announces, I think, tomorrow, the 17th. What are they going to say? And you got to watch Nvidia. If you don't like Nvidia, watch Roblox. So they're in the same type of play in the metaverse, right? In the same kind of same sector. You got AMAT on Thursday. Now, AMAT, very interesting. We want to see what they are going to say. If they say that the chip supply is getting better or is improved or it's the end, then we can fly and we can drive these prices up a little higher. Now, I don't mean that we're going to continue and explode. This will probably be, if we go, and I'll show you, if we go, this will be an exhaustion buy. So be careful out there. And what I mean by that is probably going to go up and then come back down, because we're overextended and we do need a breather. So now, if they say it's worse, then we can probably tank. Now, there's another news pending out there that we have to be weary of. And guys, take note of, is Fed Chairman Powell going to be reinstated? Okay. If he's not going to be reinstated, and there's whispers out there that he will not be reinstated, Biden does not reinstate him, then this could tank the markets. So be careful out there. You have to keep your eyes out there. Now, we trade short term, so we will be able to take advantage of both the upside and the downside. But be careful out there, because if that news comes out, or if that news starts picking up some steam, then we have to be careful. You have to be careful out there. Okay, so that's one news that I'm looking at that could potentially hurt the markets in a very short term period. So I think that's kind of picking up. All right, let's dive to it. All right, so that's all I got for today. But no, not for today. But let's dive in. So XVX, we're right there. It's diving. Where is it going to go? Is it holding? Is it waiting on the chip news? There's a lot of chip news going up. Are we going to hold? If we start breaking down, then we're probably going to retest these levels of 43.31. Now watch that. I'm going to dissect that into the 15-minute time frame, but we got to watch that right now. NDX, I did notice that the VIX was peeking its head yesterday. We got to be careful of that, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. And also the notes are starting to creep up, which is not good for tech normally. Okay, Russell's holding, but it's not really bouncing. So if Russell starts going down, then it's probably going to start tanking these down with it. And we're at a good point, right? The MACDs need to pull back a little bit, but how far back down are we going to go if that happens? Okay, here's the VIX. So the VIX yesterday peaked its head, right? Hit the 50 and it's kind of lingering. MACDs are still there, not really confirmed, but if we start going down, then we could probably go maybe a little higher. It just tells you that fear is dissipating. Okay, that's good. But if we start breaking 17,407, then that means that fear is probably going to go back to where it was last week and the markets can pull back. So set your alerts right there at 1758 and it's real easy. You right click on hit the alert, and that is going to tell me that when it goes up there, I'll be alerted. Now, this is what I was talking about. The treasury notes are starting to creep up. This is not good for tech normally, but we're going to set another alert. If it starts going above this 1.7, then that's going to be maybe a time that we're going to probably want to maybe go in short. I'm going to set my alert there too, and the alert is set. So this is how I know if these starts creeping up, then I'm going to start switching my position to the downside. All right, so that's a little trick right there. Now let's dive in. I'm going to cover real quick. Today's going to be about 30 stocks. If you know the system, great. But real quick, we're just going to be looking for the movers. Our goal is to look for the movers near the 50-day moving average, near the zero, MACD, and we want it to bounce if we think we're going to be bullish, okay? If we think that the overall markets are going to collapse, and we start noticing these collapsing, this is the XPX and the X and Russell, then we're probably not going to be bullish, or maybe be a few that are going to be bullish, and they're not going to go. But let's dive in. So here's the XPX, 15-minute time frame. It's looking good. It's looking like a setup. Now, we are in a very pivotal moment. Is this going to bounce or is it going to break down, right? So if we bounce, we got these highs and these 46.88 to really get it going, right? And then we have this high up here of 46.97, let's say 4,700. Yesterday, we couldn't break above 4,700. We sold off pretty hard. So that's going to be it's a round number. It's very, very strong. Now, if we do break 4,700, then we start going higher. Okay, that's a clue, and you're going to start looking for the setups to go higher that we're going to show you today. If we break down, there's going to be setups for the lower side. If we break down, we're probably going to go back down to this 46.50. Okay, and then we have this 46.31. So we have plays for both the upside and the downside. So stay frothy. Okay, the NDX, same type of thing. We had a hard time breaking above these headwinds of 16,255. We tried to go yesterday at the open, but we pull back. It looks like it wants to rest. Let's see what happens at the zero line. If it starts breaking down, it's probably going to go back down to these lows here of 16,095 and then 16,012. If we start bouncing higher, again, I showed you the TNX, the 10-year note, because if that starts going down, then this goes up. If the VIX starts going down, these go up. If those start going up, then that's going to go down. Okay, so we're at a very pivotal point for today. Okay, so there's opportunities everywhere. Now, the Russell looks a little bit. There is a divergence here, but the Russell has pulled back. So this was a little weaker. If you can tell, if I zoom out, we're having a hard time breaking above this 2421, 2420 area. We're having a hard time. It bounced, couldn't break through, and it's lingering. Now, it's below the 50, and this is what I mean about weakness here. So if this starts going up, and we're right there, this can probably start declining lower. And if it does happen, we have some plays for the downside. We have 23.92 and we got 23.81 on the downside, and then 23.62. So there's some plays there. Now, if, like I said, 10-year goes down, VIX goes down, XPX anchor goes up, then the Russell will follow them and starts breaking the 50. But right now we're below the 50. That 2400 is pretty hard as well. And then we got that 2421 is hard. Are we going to break up? Now I showed you the XPX and the X. Remember, I showed you this. We are near the highs. So there is some selling pressure up there. What's going to take it up there? Now that Powell news, the market knows that. It's pending. It doesn't like unknowns. If Powell starts getting, if it's confirmed, that starts picking up steam, that's an unknown and the markets will tank, okay? Now, also, the chip news, if the chip news comes out favorable, then that maybe can push the markets higher. But we're going to, stay on that. All right, so let's dive in. Alphabet, again, we're near that 3,000 area. Remember, that 3,000 is pretty hard. I wouldn't recommend a play on right now. There's not really anything. We're right there. We're pretty far away, and 3,000 is pretty hard. So let's skip. Let's pick Google or Alphabet for now. We're right there. Now, if it does break three again, if the XPX and the X starts breaking higher, then Google will go because it's good. It's been on fire. Okay. Now Amazon, same type of thing. It's holding pattern. It's right there. Now it's at the zero line. Now, if you look at Amazon from a daily chart, you know that we're coming near the highs. Okay. So if I look at the daily charts, and guys, I have eyes everywhere. I'm looking at the daily charts. Amazon is right now, it's near its highs. Okay. So it's not all-time highs, but it's near there and could get time to unwind. So right there, right? So we're, again, same type of premises here and here and here as the NDX and NDX. We're right there. What's going to happen here? Now, if it starts going lower, this could be a play 35.26 to 34.46. If it starts going higher, we got some major headwinds right at that 35.50. So watch that, okay? Now, Tesla. I like Tesla. I'm loving Tesla. Not now, okay? Elon still has a lot of billions shares to sell, and we kept track of that. I sent a note to my chat group. I think we're about 6 billion or so, somewhere in there, and we still have a lot. So there's going to be some selling pressure, and usually the way these things happen is that they wait for the market to go up and they start selling into strength because they don't want to tank the market a lot. So it looks like Tesla can probably go down with this operation to around $900. So it'll be a fire sale. There's a lot of people picking up Tesla for their portfolios, but again, Tesla will have these pops. So if you want to trade Tesla, just trade them to the pops. So again, 1033 on top. It's looking like there's a divergence here. But again, watch that 1033. We had a pop yesterday, but this 1036, 1033 is a level. And then we got that 1056. Okay, what does it happen there? That's up to you. It can probably go lower. And remember, there's a lot of selling pressure on Tesla. There's a lot of shares being sold. Okay, ISRG. ISRG 357 to get it better is below the 50. It looks like there's a divergence here. Let's see if it can creep up. Okay, Chipotle, okay, went up. This is why I told you we don't chase trades here. We took the trade last week, but let it pull back. Again, we did well on this. It's below the 50 right here. What's going to happen at this $50 range, at the 50 moving average range, and let's see what happens there. But there really isn't a trade there, especially if the market starts tanking. This is going to go down with it. Okay, Nvidia, no, Lam Research. Lam Research is part of the chip family. Now, this can go. Again, now remember, this is option expiration week, so whatever you do, be careful not to trade or buy options for this week because you got OPEX as well, which makes it very volatile. And option expiration week is usually when the market maker starts playing some funny games with the options, especially for this week. So remember, add weeks if you're going to play options. But LRCX looks good. It's right at the 50, right at the 0. This is the play that we like to see. So we're going to watch this. Now on top, it's got that 644 on top. Okay, so it needs to bounce 644 to keep it going. Now, how do you play this if this is going up? Now remember, if you want to build your account and you're trading options or whatever strategy you're doing, if you're going singular options, here's the deal. We roll up. So what do I mean by that? If you get into an option at 630 or somewhere in there and it starts going up at 644, I probably will recommend, I can't recommend. Okay, what I would do, I would sell my position and then take a portion of my position and roll up into another option. Because if that goes to crap, then basically I still won in the trade and my account keeps growing. Now, if that goes up, then basically we won in that trade and I'll sell it at the next level, take a portion of my trade, my profits, and then roll up. Eventually, one of them is going to go to crap. That's a good money management system that I use and has worked very, very well. All right, Shopify going down. Again, that 1700 is pretty hard. Below the 50 is working its way lower. Let it go lower. Let it set up. We don't chase trades here. If you want it to the downside and the market starts tanking, it's got 1630 and then it's got 1510 on the downside. Netflix working its way lower. It had a run. On top, 685 below the 50, and the MACDs are right there. So if this starts going down, it's got 671 at the bottom, and then you got that 666 area, and then you got 653. Now, if it starts going above the 50, it's got 685 on top. Again, overall, pay attention to what the index experts are doing. If they pull back, these are going to come back with them. Okay, they had a good run. All right, Roku, a little stronger. It's right at that 274, right at that zero. Again, it can go either way. It's got that 280 on top, and then it's got 270 at the bottom. Okay, Nvidia, waiting on news. It had a nice run. Remember, we rode this up. The highs is 327. It's just holding. It announces earnings, I believe, tomorrow, okay, or the next day. One of those days, but it's waiting on news. And there's a lot of chip news lingering around. Now, Nvidia calls are going to be super expensive. If you want to play this move, then I would suggest I would look at Roblex, okay? Roblex is a way the premiums are cheaper, and they're in the same space. Okay, Mercado Libre, they took it down. This is why we trade these things to the levels. So I said this is the trade we took. We set this up, or I took from right there at 1609. Really hit our level of 1628. Gave you a little bit extra. Again, this is the reason why we trade them to the down. We trade them, lock in our profits, because no matter what, you're always a winner in this trade, especially when the markets are up here, right? We don't know which way we're going to go. We're top heavy. We had a nice run. And do we need to pull back? What news is going to make us call back? So the markets are seeing these things. We're starting noticing little pullbacks in these things. And Mercado Libre is one of them. Okay, Apple. Now, here's the thing. Who's going to benefit the most if they come out and they say that the chip supply is over? Yep, Apple. Apple's the one that's going to benefit the most. That means that they can start full production of all their lines, right? If they go into full production, that means that Apple's going to rip, and they could probably go to 170. And remember, if Apple rips, the XPX is not going to go down. So that's the positive news that we're waiting, and hopefully this week we'll get some sort of information out of the chip industry. How bad is that supply, or is it getting better? Okay, we have a lot of news on chips. And remember, chips have been moving. They haven't moved for a long time, and now they started moving. So the market thinks that chip, we haven't got confirmation yet that it's probably going to get better, that supply. Okay, Trade Desk. I like Trade Desk. Again, is it going to go counter if the market goes down? But if the market goes up, I like the setup here. This is the trade we took yesterday at the morning. We said it was setting up at the 50, bounced off a zero, and locked in those gains. I gave you to that. You can watch the tape. Now, is it going to go again? Now, it's right there. Now, if it starts bouncing, it can take out that 108, or you can take the trade there to 108 for 105 to 108, or does it go higher? But I like that setup there. Remember, if you're going to trade that, add weeks to it. If it starts going lower, 99. And the options are pretty cheap here. Okay, let's go into the next one. All right, what do we got? We got Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is working his way higher, so that's good for the XPX. Can it hold? It's right there. You got that 407 on top, so let's see. Okay, Affirm, again, this is not looking. We got retail numbers coming up. This is the layaway plan. They're taking it lower. It's not bouncing. These things are not bouncing. So what is that telling me about retail? Are the retail numbers going to come out bad? And that's another news. If they come out bad, how's the market going to react to that piece of information? It's going to take it negative or badly. Because remember, this is the rally. This is the quarter that makes a lot of stores numbers, right? So if they're not making number, there's no shopping, there's a short supply, so again, I'm looking at Affirm and Upstart, and it looks like they're taking it lower. So are these done? Again, there's a play to the downside at 144. You're going to watch the top here at 148 to see if it gets better, and then you got 142. Upstart, same type of thing. It can't break above that 266, and it's right there, hitting the 50, hitting the zero line. Can it go lower? It looks like it could go lower. Let me see how low it can go, but it looks like it can it can probably go lower. So watch that. That might be a play to the downside. Okay, HubSpot. Again, having trouble breaking above. That's 843. A lot of headwinds up here. 845 is below the 50. Let me see if I can get the MACDs. MACDs are coming there above the 50. So it looks like it probably go lower. 8 to 823, 818, 800. Okay. Zoom, zoom, zoom. This one ran. We set this up nicely. I didn't get into this trade. I got into some other trades, but it's got this 265. Now, it's setting up nicely. If it can come back, bounce off to zero, bounce off to 50, hit that 265, it can start running again. So, again, on top, you got 276, and you got that 291. Booking, coming down. You know, it's interesting. Is there another pandemic or another lockdown lingering? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there because Zoom is going up and travel is going down. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. Hopefully not. But again, below the 50 needs 24.34 going up and needs 24.65 on top. So it looks like it's basing. Can it stop going down? And again, if it comes back, let's see if it doesn't go lower. Again, we did the setups we like to do. When the MACDs are coming to the 50 and bouncing, hit the 50-day moving average, bouncing. So what I mean by the MACD coming to zero, bouncing or up, and the price going up to the 50-day moving average, bouncing. So when those two are in alignment, that's a good setup. Okay. ServiceNow, they're taking it down. This one got another upgrade today, and they're not taking it up. Another upgrade to about 820 or 840. So don't know. They're again, I have my alert at that $700 level. When it goes, it's gonna go, but they're not taking it up. It's just crazy. All right, Coinbase, real simple. Bitcoin's down. I gave you the numbers on Bitcoin. I said Bitcoin was pulling back. It's pulling back. Coinbase is back. Remember, they missed numbers and is working his way lower. That's where you take the trade. So what could happen here? If it comes there, Bitcoin keeps going lower, hits the 50, and starts bouncing down. You got the numbers here of 319. Okay. All right, let's go into the chips. The chips. So real quick right here. Okay, I'm going to go this through fast. This is my chip section and what's ready. So Intel moved nicely right at the 50, right at the zero bounce. What it needs on top, real quick. Started looking at it. Oh, it's set up nicely. If that information starts moving, this starts bouncing, that means that the chip shortage is over, and that could be a little tell for us that it's going. It needs 634 on top. Let's say 630, 634 to really get it going, and that could move, right? These are things that are going to explode if the news is favorable. Qualcomm has their conference today. So what are they going to speak at that conference? And we're going to be, have our ears open and watching the tape. So what's going to happen here? Off to zero, bouncing off to 50. What does it need up here? So we got 169, 170 to, let's say 169, 170 to really get it going. Okay, so it's right there. ASML has, working his way lower. They're taking this one down. So again, got to watch the tape. What's going to happen here? Now, here's the thing. This thing ran up nicely. Again, there's a lot of FOMO buying here. So it's working his way lower. We're going to watch it at the 50. So there's no trade here. We're going to watch it at the 50. AMD working his way lower. This had a nice run as well, and is working his way lower. We have a divergence here. What's going to happen here? Typical pullback. Now, what's going to happen? If it can take out this 147, if it starts breaking up, bouncing, and these are favorable, this is probably can go, and it can go up to about at 140, let's say 149, 150 is the next target on top. Okay, ASML working his way lower, I have ASML here. Okay, that's good to know. We already covered that. AMAT. So AMAT has earnings on Thursday. So we're going to be watching these guys and see the vocabulary, the verbiage they use. Again, had a nice run. We have some FOMO buying. Again, can it rally? So we're going to watch it here. Can it break the 50? 156 on top. And then you got that high up there of 158 to get it better. But remember, these guys have earnings on Thursday, and we're going to watch the verbiage. Rivian. All right, wanted to talk about Rivian. So Rivian has options today. So it's ready. It looks like it wants 200. Don't really see a trade on this thing yet, but it's on the boards. It's on the screens. We're going to cover it. Roblex again is the Nvidia play. Remember, watch Nvidia. If you want to play that Nvidia and it's too expensive, look at the Roblex. Roblex is right there. It's setting up at the 50-day moving average at the 0. And then what does it have on top to really get it going? It's got that 111. Again, if it takes 111, it's probably going to go. All right. What I want to put in here, I definitely want to put LCID because they had earnings yesterday. LCID, let's do that one. Okay. And again, had earnings that were favorable. Can it start running at the open? I don't know, but we don't like to take the trade. We like to take the trade near the 50. And again, let it pull back, let it set up nicely. All right, let's cover Bitcoin. Bitcoin pulling back right at that 50-day moving average. Great. If you want to know how I trade Bitcoin, look at that launch video. It's how to avoid buying the tops. I put an amazing video there, very short, about basically what levels are a good indicator to trade Bitcoin. The only problem with this is that it's at the 50, but the MACDs are rolling lower. So this is telling me that this is probably going to go lower. Let it drop, let it drop, let it drop. It had a nice run, and that means it's going to give us a better entry. MicroStrategy dropping with Bitcoin. And again, Ethereum pulling back. I told you it's over. MACD, not that it's over, but it needs to pull back. How far low is it going to go? I don't know. But again, I think that Powell news is also going to affect these guys as well. All right, guys. Wow, we covered a lot. Hope you guys gave you a lot of setups. It is 9 o'clock. Good. I think we're going to start at 8:30, so that way we can give you guys the potential plays to get ready for today. But hopefully we gave you a nice plays. Do me a favor, press that like button, press that subscribe button, share this information if you find it valuable. And again, remember, abundance breeds abundance. It helped me. I'm starting this channel, sharing my information as well. And cool. All right, guys, go out there, stay green, and go get it. All right, take care. Stay green.